Is it Monster Squad?
That might be it.
That might be it. That might
never
be it.
seen it.
That's right. Never. Well, I have, so I can.
You have.
It can be by osmosis. And
okay, cool. Just mind meld right now. So if you're following us, ask us some questions, and maybe our camera guide and marketing guru Damien Skinner could let us know what questions pop up here.
You have a guru? That's awesome.
A guru?
I gotta get a guru.
He's an expert.
I like that.
He's the handmaiden.
Yes. Greatest compliment ever.
Wow. All right.
Where's the bells?
The bell, yeah. Let's insert bells wherever.
My logo is gonna be the little thumble. What are the things called?
The thimble?
Thimble.
Right in the middle.
A thumble.
I was gonna do this to all my.
A thumble is when you have a little thicker thumb. It's a thumble.
Thumble.
The thimble.
So it's recording right now.
And I don't like you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just sleepy.
Really dark in here.
Not on that thing. Right?
No,
It's got a good sensor on it too, probably.
Oh, dude, yes. It's a one.
It's amazing. That's the new. I love it.
And this lens is awesome. It's
Can you see?
1.8, but with a speed booster, it's 1.2, so it's pretty.
It's like back in the day, you'd be like, okay, bring in the sun.
Yeah. So like
8,000 degree light.
Did you get bad film or something? It's like some oil on it? Why is it so bright in here?
It is
Awesome.
so bright.
Cool.
So are we ready?
Yeah.
Are we recording?
I'm gonna interview. I'm actually driving back to Dallas for my
yeah.
job.
Yeah, man.
Pleasure, man. I'll get. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
We'll stay in touch.
Dude,
Yeah, man.
thanks again,
Thanks.
man. Have a safe
Yeah.
drive. Let us know when you get back.
You're good, bro. I'll talk to you when you get back. man.
Job schmob. Damn it.
Jeez.
Pick up hitchhikers.
Yeah, I will.
Multiples.
Always say yes.
Yeah, that's kind of, That's for your Studio 54.
Yeah.
And 1200. Oh my god. If Talking Tina was down on the bottom of that would be freaky. That's what we should do. I'm gonna tell Tim. Just like floating.
Dude, that would be crazy cool. That's what he should do.
Or like bandages from Eye of the Beholder or something.
Is that door closed?
Should. So I'm about to break out some karaoke. That's how I do karaoke, by myself in a room.
Yeah, exactly. It's called the shower.
It's called
I want to hear Tom Waits with you.
So I can do
Tom
it
Waits.
naked.
I don't know.
Wake me up.
Oh, go. Alright, are we recording? Are we good?
It looks like it's recording.
It looks like
Is
it's...
there red flashing buttons?
There's no red light over here, so it's up to you.
No, it's recording.
Alright, cool. Alright. We are here. We are live. The voice memo's on? Alright, cool, sweet. Alright. I'm Bryan Kluger here with Boomstick Comics High Def Digest, the Entertainment Answer radio show and podcast Mediocrity, where the podcast is just, it's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm here with the superstar, a former debate champion, steel cage champion, superstar of the world, Andre Gower.
I'll take that.
You'll take that?
I'll take that. I like that.
You like that?
Yeah.
How have you been, man?
Been good. It's been kind of a fun year working on a bunch of projects, and I know we haven't kind of corresponded in the last year, but it's been kind of busy. So leading up to a lot of stuff to get busier, which
Yes.
is what we're always trying to do.
So to give a little background to the viewers who might not be familiar with who you are just yet.
The under 35.
The under 35. Oh, that shows our age. This man, this gentleman right here, has been in a ton of TV shows. He's one of them was Wizards, right?
The Wizard, yeah.
The
Which is
Wizard,
like a
the
network TV show about this kind of inventor, genius, scientific guy that was also a little person.
Yes.
But great mind, invented stuff, and was protected by the government. So he went and helped people out. He was sort of like the little MacGyver A-Team Burn Notice
Okay. Yeah.
of 87.
That's That's good. And then you won awards too in the younger days on your TV shows, right?
Yeah.
Which awards did you win?
There was, luckily, because there's been kids in films and television since the advent of both.
Yes.
And there's no Emmys or Oscars. I take that back. Kids get nominated sometimes. Anna Paquin won an Oscar. It's great. Mickey Rooney, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of kids in the business, and they don't get a lot of recognition a lot of the times. But there was this organization called the Youth and Film Awards, which kind of catered to that. And it was very LA Hollywood centric. And for years, they ran this kind of award show for the year. And the peers, they nominated and peers judged, and we'd always go and be a presenter and a guest, and it wasn't anything huge, but it was always fun. And I won a couple of those. We won a couple. I think we won a Saturn award like way back in like '87 or '88, and then some obscure awards like the Count Dracula Society of America Achievement Award, and it's like, hey, you know what? It's an award.
And not many people have that award.
And it's not just for showing up.
Yeah.
We're different generations, so.
It is pretty cool. And what you might recognize him most from is from the classic, iconic, legendary 80s film Monster Squad.
Yeah.
The star of Monster Squad right here. He probably has one of the all-time quotable lines ever in cinema.
Well, I have kick him in the nards.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
I'm lucky to have that. Ryan Lambert, who of course is Rudy, gets to kill more monsters and the cool guy, but yeah, I have a good line.
You do.
And then I close the movie out.
You do.
That's with good. So I'm okay. It's good. There's some great iconic lines in that movie.
It is.
People still use. They have. It's Twitter handles. It's websites. It's. My Name is Horace is like the album title for this big German DJ.
Yeah.
And it's like he mixes this with the house music and it's like chicka chicka bong, gung, 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 gung. My name is Horace, gung, 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 and it's like some cool.
That is cool. So at this Fantastic Fest we're here at in Austin right now, they have an annual event called the Fantastic Debates where people get in to an actual boxing ring, have a debate on a certain topic, and actually duke it out in the ring. This man right here, Andre Gower, is a champion of that, and the debate was, which is better, Goonies or Monster Squad? And I would like you to tell the folks on Facebook Live and at home what were your you obviously you were repping Monster Squad. What were your points there?
Well, there's a couple good ones. There's no contest. I mean, everybody loves the Goonies. It was cute and fun. Like people say, like very similar movies, but I disagree. So we sum it up basically with the Goonies saved their neighborhood from a developer.
Yes.
The Monster Squad saved the world from Dracula. So and a couple other badass monsters. So that's
virgins.
A little bit of a difference.
There were virgins.
There was virgins that became vampire brides.
Yeah.
There was not so virgins that were hot on our team.
Yep.
And I think what's different about Goonies and Monster Squad is Monster Squad's way ahead of its time in that our ultimate hero was a 5-year-old girl.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's actually noticeable now when you look at it from different lenses. And I think that's very interesting. I think it's very cool. So we talk about that a lot. And, Goonies, they ran around in raincoats and ran around from Anne Ramsey and trying to find a pirate. And it was underground. It was totally unrealistic. That could never happen.
Never happened.
And, they were their house was going to become like the putting green of a country club. That's what they were worried about.
Yep.
I was like, maybe get free membership. You should have just let them do it. I don't know. But no, we had some stuff. No one believed us. We were the only kids in the area that understood what was going on, and we had to put stuff together to save the world.
And you had a Holocaust survivor help you.
We had a Holocaust survivor. We had a 5-year-old female hero. We had a Holocaust survivor. There's a lot going on in that movie.
There is. I love that movie. And plus you got like Michael Cimbello's "Rockin' Till You Drop" song.
Yeah, which 80s rock icon Michael Cimbello. I don't know how he got those, but it works out great because they're two great songs. And he raps also, which I think is his only foray into the hip hop world. With Michael Cimbello doing the Monster Squad rap at the end, but but it's a popular soundtrack.
So being a kid at the time, after filming, did the director and producers let you to keep any props with you? Like, do you keep any sort of prop from the movie?
I actually, I have arguably one of the coolest props, and for years, because at the time I was really into archery and shooting bows and stuff, and so I actually taught Ryan Lambert in my backyard how to shoot his bow in the movie because he gets to kill a bunch of monsters with the bow. So far ahead of Daryl on Walking Dead, which used a crossbow, which is so much easier. And I actually got Rudy's bow from
Awesome.
the movie.
That's really cool.
And I had that for decades. It's actually decades. And it had been in a box in a case in my house. It moved around. It's at my mother's place for years. And I actually finally said, we're doing all these appearances, and this is Ryan's thing. Ryan should have this, and he should either have it or be able to bring it with him to conventions or something like that. And so I brought it to Ryan at a show in San Francisco a few years ago, and kept it secret. And then I brought it out from like behind the stage, and the whole place went nuts, and everybody wanted to take a photo with it. And it was funny because Ryan was like, I can't take this on the Metro. And I was like, okay, we'll take it back to my buddy's house. It's still at my buddy's house.
Oh, so he has it.
Yeah, who now moved to Montana. So the bow's in a box in Montana.
When's anybody going to go to Montana?
Maybe it's a road trip with Ryan and I and our podcast to go get his... Whoa.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. Says the marketing guru.
Yeah, that sounds
You guys should travel along and video it while we do it. Let's do that.
Dude, let's do a road trip to
Road
Montana.
trip. We'll get like the, rent RV thing.
And let's go to like haunted places or like stuff and like
On the
monsters
way.
with
After
like
we get the boats, we can kill stuff.
Yes.
Not real people. Just kidding.
Idea.
Don't
It's a badass idea.
Don't try this at home. Don't try this at home.
That's
monster.
Leave it to the trained professional actors.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, that's a good idea. Yeah, my buddy lives in like Montana. Let's go.
Let's
do that. Done.
Done.
See?
Awesome.
Great.
And so, and I want to get into more of the stuff you're doing now. You have a lot of projects you've been working on. Can you talk about any of the cool film stuff you're doing right now?
I can talk about a few. One's a little still not officially announced because I'm actually in a couple different talks with them. So it's you kind of don't, one, leap past yourself, and then two, you don't want to mention it because it gets kind of weird. But I can allude to a very interesting documentary project that is sort of a look back and a thank you to the fans of a movie that rhymes with Monster Squad.
Okay.
So we're working on that, and Ryan and I are working on that together, and I've got a cool production team. But like I said, that's what I'm gonna say from there. And then when we make the announcements and we do official stuff, I'll hit you up and be the first to know, and we'll blast it out. But it's really neat. So it's sort of because I've met so many awesome fans, over the last 29 years, it's almost 30, and especially the last 10, because this is why I'm really partial to the Alamo and Tim and Zach and guys like that here, is because we wouldn't be doing any of this or talking about it today without Eric Vesby from Ain't It Cool News and Tim teaming up to do a cast reunion screening in 2006 at the old original Alamo in downtown Austin. And I got contacted by Eric and the Ain't It Cool News guys, and like, hey, we're trying to do this thing. It's my all-time favorite movie, Eric Vesby. And I was like, oh, great. And we'd love to do this cast reunion screening. We have a 35mm print of it, and this Alamo is this really cool place here. And I hadn't been here yet, so I didn't know these guys. And we know a couple of the other cast, and I was like, who do you got? And he named a couple. I was like, if you want to have a cast reunion screening, let me make 3 phone calls and get back to you. And so I called Fred Decker, I called Ashley Bank, who played Phoebe, our hero, and Ryan Lambert. And I said, hey, it's this group, they want to do this thing, they want to fly us into Austin, do these 2 screenings on a Saturday night, and it could be fun. I had no idea what it was going to turn out to be.
It made much news.
Two sold out screenings on Easter, and turned away people at the door, signings in between, Q&As, and that's what gave the fans of the Monster Squad their initial outlet in the modern time to be like, we are here. We now have some place to gravitate towards. Where's the DVD? That event right there is what spawned the fan fervor for someone to realize and find out, wait, we don't even know who has the rights to distribute this currently, because it's been split so many times and sold. And Lionsgate ended up putting out a DVD the next year. Special editions, we all know, then they put out Blu-ray, and it went gangbusters. And it's all because of that initial thing we did here at the Alamo, the old original one downtown. And that's why, Tim League and Zach Carlson and Aaron Morgan and Eric Vesby at Ain't It Cool News and Harry Knowles, those guys, there's a reason we have these last 10 years. It's the reason why I'm working on a project that rhymes with documentary. about fans because over the last 10 years, I thought it was going to last maybe a year or two, get some traction, do some conventions, and it'll kind of peter out. It hasn't stopped, and it's only gotten stronger. And so that that enjoyment of this film has just got this upward trajectory, and we're adding more fans, and it's a generational thing now.
Yeah, because Monster Squad is like a timeless film almost. Like,
it holds up, and the true super original fans that saw it in the theater or either found it on a VHS in their video store and stole the tape, and or on HBO. I've been here every week, and it's amazing that this is the first movie that I show my kids, and now it's their favorite movie. And now some of these kids are 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
And it's that's kind of rad.
It's really
And
cool.
people ask me all the time, it's like, do you get tired of talking about Monster Squad because you do other stuff and you've done other things and you did it? And I was like, first of all, no. And second of all, why? What? I mean, this is 30 years later, and someone wants to sit with you and explain how much this movie means to them. And how many people on the planet get to do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wouldn't be a very conscious earthling if I didn't appreciate that just a little bit, and I appreciate it a lot. And so that's sort of this one project that is kind of a turn back to them, and kind of celebrate them a little bit.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, because they've been celebrating us for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so it's time for really true Monster Squad fans to get their due. And so that's what I'm hoping to accomplish. And then I've got a couple other TV projects. I've got one that's great. That's it's about former child stars.
Okay.
Write what you know. Right? Write what you know. And it's very neat. We shot the pilot last year, and I've been shopping that around. So it's about a secret organization that for the last 80 years has been cognitively conditioning and secretly training young performers to be operatives in their organization.
I'm totally up for that.
I'll leave it at that. So we have 75 years of revisionist history to plug in
To that.
famous child stars in the last century.
You probably have a good network of people you know.
Oh yeah. It writes itself. It writes itself. Everybody plays themselves.
Yeah.
But with this fictional background story that no one knows, and the reason that the show kind of conceived with a couple other guys, and it just kind of I took it and went, let's do that, but let's go this way with it because everybody will like that.
Yeah.
And usually when you see a former child star as an adult that either had a robust childhood career that didn't transition into the adult thing, or has, and it didn't work out as well, but if they're playing themselves, they're usually being mocked, being made fun of, it's like, or poking fun at what they did or who they did, which is a little unfair because are you really in control of what you did and have that? It's like, it's a job.
Yeah, it's a job, yeah.
And, why would you poke fun at that? You weren't on that TV show.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like to clown former child stars. Most people celebrate them. There's a few, and the internet doesn't help, but and it does help sometimes, which is great. But like the movie Dickie Roberts.
Yeah.
I actually read that script because a friend of mine was an agent at the time, and he was covering it, and I read it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of funny, kind of hits home, I get it. But even Dickie Roberts is sort of this pathetic character that can't walk and chew gum at the same time, and he never does anything but that's knucking farts.
Yeah.
And I was like, get it, catchphrase, totally understand. Good social commentary on that movie, but then like the actual movie came out, it was different, and it had a different tone. In that poker scene in Dickie Roberts, when it's got Bonaducci and Barry Williams and Feldman and Dustin Diamond, and they're all, and that gets me, that frustrates me, because I get it, they're working and they're doing something, but if you're fine making fun of yourself, then more power to you. But why couldn't we have a different poker scene when everybody's going, don't we know a lot more than everybody else? Because we're just laughing all the way to the bank. We're icons. That's not what that scene was. It was like, wait, you guys get limos? And oh my God, someone asked me for an autograph in the vet. It's like, because I can't afford a doctor, so I go to the vet. It's like that type of stuff. And I was like, let's do something that turns that upside down and actually celebrates who we were. I'm part of that, who we were and what we did, and give them something really badass. And so there's a fun little concept there.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to that.
And so been working on that all year. The dog thing is fairly new but robust because we're going to try to have that done by the end of the year, and or by the end of the summer. And Ryan Lambert and I have our own podcast, which is fun.
Cool. What is it called?
It's called Squadcast.
Squadcast.
So it's Squadcast with Ryan and Andre. It's at ryanandandre.com, and it's, Ryan and I get along so well, and we're very similar and yet we're very different, if that makes sense. And we just have fun. And for the last 2 years, when we both moved back to LA, and we would just go hang out and have a drink or have lunch or just be hanging out, we would just talk and we laugh and we riff, and it's hilarious. And we're always like, why is this not being recorded? This is so good. This should be a podcast. So we said that for like a year and a half, and we finally started doing it. And so far, people like it. And we've had a couple episodes out, and now we're getting requests for people to be on our podcasts from like PR people and movie people, and they let their clients on, and people that I know, which is awesome. And then we've been invited to go to other things and do our podcast. It was like it just started, and it's fun. So it's usually just us sitting around riffing.
No, yeah, that's the best thing.
And what's really resonating is that it's just two guys shooting the fish.
Yeah.
And then it goes off the rails every once in a while, and then we come back and we go off the rails again. And everybody comments or writes in or sees this and be like, I listen in the car, I listen to it when I'm in the house, and I feel like I'm in the room or in the car with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's good. So that's kind of the point we wanted to it. And then now we started having guests, and we just had our first guest episode. We've got like 3 more lined up. I just sent out a message to Felton.
Oh.
To get Cory Felton on it. And
because he just got back up from his performance on the Good Day Show?
He did, and his Facebook Live.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, but I would have liked to see it opposite.
Yeah.
He had a lot of supporters on that, but he had a lot of not supporters, which is unfortunate. And I would have liked to see something like Cory as representing position of former child stars. And Cory's an interesting case, but he believes in everything so much, and he was affected by it, which is unfortunate. And I would have liked to see Cory go on his Facebook Live feed, and instead of boo-hooing a little bit, like it seemed like he wasn't being so affected, is turn around and go, hey, you know what? Were you on the Today Show? No.
Yeah. And I look
and like, hey, I'm out there trying to do something and busting my butt. If it works, it doesn't work, whatever. What are you doing today?
Yeah.
What are you doing today? And I mean, the thing with Felton, not that this is the Felton show, but he really is a talented actor.
He is. And I talked to him a couple years ago. We had a half-hour talk. And the dude is putting out art, putting out his own thing. It's really cool, and not a lot of people are doing that. And I love him for that he's still in it.
Got to. And you have to celebrate that, because no matter how kooky or weird that you might think it is, you're not out there doing that. And I don't think you really should try to tear someone down that is.
Yeah.
Because as soon as it changes and it becomes great, everybody's going to go, oh my God, I love that guy.
Yeah.
But he's actually a really talented actor, and I'd like to see him acting again.
Yeah.
Kind of put all this other fun stuff on the side project, but go back and do what you do well, and go play a character that's good, because he's a great character.
Yeah, he is a great character.
He got so many. We all read for the same stuff.
Yeah.
As you're growing up, and one of my favorite roles that I screen tested that I did not get was Teddy Duchamp in Stand By Me.
Oh my gosh, so you read for that?
Oh yeah, and I read for Teddy, and would I've been a good Teddy? Yeah, I probably could have pulled it off. But Cory Felton was a fantastic Teddy Duchamp in that movie. Yeah. And I thought everybody was great in that movie. That's my favorite, besides Marshall Squad, kids adventure movie that I know. And it's Stand By Me, because it's a little bit more. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's written by Stephen King, short story. But anyway, off of film, but things like that. So we want to cover stuff like that in the podcast, because Ryan and I have a very unique perspective on stuff that not a lot of people have, and so we get to share that. Because he's got great stories, I've got great stories. We go off the rails, we might have a whiskey or two while we're doing it, or 6, and it's fun. We won't when we do the RV show, though.
Yeah, no, we won't.
Unless you're driving. We'll just
That's fine. I'll be DD. However, speaking of guests, I hear guests on your podcast, which would be cool. Maybe you could get like a certain wrestling star, because you have a connection to the WWE world, which we cover.
Yeah, one of our like raddest and like in our face fan is Zack Ryder.
Zack Ryder from WWE, woo woo woo,
is a big Monster Squad fan, and so we try to like engage back and forth and support each other as much as we can. And I was telling you this earlier. I sent Zach one of our new things because you can get a wooden stake signed by Ryan and I, and it's such a fun piece of little collectible. And we take them to conventions, and you can get them on RyanandAndre.com. If you write us, you can order one. And so I sent Zach one, and we sent him one. And of course, he puts this great, awesome,
on Instagram.
But like it's like the belt. He's holding it like it's the belt, and he's like, and he's like, holy crap, I just got this. And we're like, that is amazing. And so, Zach, you're out there, buddy. Love you. But we've never like rotated or grabbed in the same market yet, so we're trying to. I want him on the show,
dude.
Because I'm thinking it's like, oh, got you, and all his fans like, you gotta get him on your show. It's like we're doing that. We're totally doing that as soon as we can make it happen.
That would be so cool.
And I love doing in face, like Google Hangouts and Skype podcasts are fun, but there's nothing that replaces being in the room with someone. And that's sort of our goal, is because. I think when you have a phone call in or something, it removes you from that feeling that you're in the room with us.
Yeah.
And so we'll travel around and we'll connect, and we'll get Zack Ryder on the podcast.
What is your most thrilling music experience?
My most thrilling music experience.
Yeah, whether it be at a concert.
Yeah, no, there's a couple just popped in my mind. I love music. I'm not musical. This is where Ryan and I differ, which is great. I love music. It's the one thing I don't do. I've done a bazillion other things. I can't play an instrument. I'd like to think I can sing. I can't. In a karaoke room, as we are. Probably but I've had a lot of good experiences, so it's amazing because I know a lot of cool people. Probably your earliest concerts might be music thing. I went to the Jacksons Victory Tour at Dodger Stadium.
So amazing.
And then, of course, I grew up late, and one of my best friends in high school, his dad was Michael's manager for years. Okay. So it's like, what? And at that time, so it all kind of comes circle. I was at the LA Coliseum for the Bruce Springsteen Born in the USA tour. First time, like, I was around people that smoked weed, like they smoked a bunch of weed in front of me, and I was with my friend and her dad, and like, what is going on? And so it's been, I think that, and then I have a lot of friends in the music industry, which is great. And one of my favorite artists right now is Jenny Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Who I grew up with.
Rilo Kiley, right?
Rilo
and
Kiley,
from True Beverly Hills.
And she and I did a television show together when I was 10.
That's right.
So I've known Jenny forever, and we're friends with her sister, and I know a lot of cool people in the music industry. And so it's probably those two concerts, maybe. I'll think of something else. I used to have a friend in junior high whose dad worked at Universal, so we used to go to the Universal Amphitheater for free all the time and see these great concerts. And I was like, I'm going to take advantage of all of this.
It's awesome.
And so
all right. Here's another one.
Yeah.
So since you're obviously a huge fan of the Alamo, huge fan of film in general, what are some of your favorite scenes from movies that have always stuck with you? Your favorite scenes? Feel free to act it out too.
Gotta be the arrival scene in Close Encounters.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting because Richard Dreyfuss is in 3 of my all-time favorite movies. Which is Close Encounters, Jaws, and Mr. Holland's Opus.
Mr. Holland's Opus, right
Which
here.
Everybody thinks it's really weird that that's one of my all-time favorite movies, but they don't get the point of, because I think if I had chosen another path, or I can always go to it, I probably would have been a teacher or a coach, because I've always been an athlete and played on teams, and coaching is a very different tack. Like, good coaches are different types of people, just like good teachers are different types of teachers. And, I grew up playing sports, and I actually left acting when I graduated high school, and I left LA because I played basketball in college. And that was a dream I always wanted to do, and I had an opportunity, so I took it. And I had a family connection giving this thing. I got invited to play at this small school in North Carolina, and then from there I got recruited to UNC Asheville. And so, within 2 years of my life that I never would have dreamed I would have played Division I basketball. I was playing D1 basketball.
Dude, that's awesome.
Granted, at a mid-major, smaller, it doesn't matter. And it was a great opportunity. I have great friends from there. So, like I said, I've done so much random, awesome, cool stuff, and that's sort of where my character in the TV show comes from.
Okay.
And it's why do I know all of this random in my mind and have all this useless knowledge? Because I'm a trivia buff and I DVR Jeopardy. Okay.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of a dork and I'm kind of a knowledge sponge, and I may dress cool and act cool, but I'm kind of a dork at heart, and I might be an original nerd, and that's why I think I think that's why I got along with everybody growing up. I had a foot in the cool kids camp, I had a foot in the smart kids camp, and then of course I was working, so I was like, hey, school was fun for me. I loved growing up and going to school. I'd totally go back to junior high right now if I could, because it was fun, and the girls were really cute, right?
Yeah,
it was so cute, and. It's high school, junior high, totally. And but back on Mr. Hollands' Opus, I've had some really good teachers and some really good coaches in my life. And if I was ever going to do something, I would want to make an impact like that story tells. Because we always think it's a great speech at the end, where the governor is celebrating her teacher.
Uh-huh.
And it's like he thinks his life might have been misspent because he never became famous or rich, and he stayed in our town. And he goes, but this is your legacy. This is 100 people. It was 500 people in this auditorium, and he finally gets it, and he realizes that his life was not misspent. And if you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability and put your heart into it. Or otherwise, find something else. And because you'll end up retiring and feel like your life was misspent. Yeah. So just pick something. It doesn't matter, but at least put your heart into one thing as you go. Whether it's helping your friends or always being loyal or teaching them. I love teachers. I love teachers. I love really good teachers a lot because I've had a handful and I celebrate them. So that's why that movie resonates with me. And then there's Airplane and the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh, Kentucky Fried Movie. No, I love Amazon Women on the Moon as well.
Good too.
Domino Simmons.
But it's so. But my tastes go all over the place.
All right.
Classics are great. Mm-hmm. And then 3 of my all-time favorite movies are musicals.
That's great.
Guys and Dolls with Brando and Sinatra. The Sound of Music is fantastic. Come on. And then of course Grease.
Yeah.
Because I used to have to perform Grease numbers and lip sync when I was a kid in shopping malls and stuff. It was fun.
Do a little bit of that.
Thanks, Mom.
But you're here now, and all went
which
somewhere.
is great because I don't think my mom knew the lyrics to Grease Lightning, so it was amazing. I was like, yeah, that's right. Watch this.
That's that. Well, sounds great. I think that's all the time we have for right now. But
it's fun. We're going to do it again, and we're going on an RV trip.
We are going to do an RV trip. It's going to be a documentary. We're going to send out we might send out a blast to Zach Ryder, see if he can be our enforcer.
No, we'll pick him up as he's hitchhiking in the middle of where are we going to start? Because it's going to be a road trip.
Yeah.
Let's start with where you're at.
I'm in Dallas.
That's Dallas to Montana? Done.
Badass.
We'll pick up Zach Ryder in between here and Oklahoma City.
Sounds great. Oh my gosh.
In his wrestling gear, by the way.
Just the tights and the stick.
He's gonna go woo woo woo.
Well, Andre Gower, you can find him at what? Ryan and Andre?
RyanandAndre.com. Andre Gower at Twitter. Andre Gower official on Instagram. Just find me, follow me. We'll hang out. I like to engage. It's fun. I follow you. It's great.
Yeah, and we're going to have him back on the radio show at some point talking about his projects, and we're going to keep you posted on this road trip, which is going to be epic.
We got to do that.
We're going to do that.
We can take a couple of days off. We'll do that.
Let's do that.
Because it's on. Yeah. Oh, what a great idea.
A great idea. Well,
you got to be there.
Thank you. Awesome.
Does that turn out good?
Yeah.